All right, we don't want to say the death, but we say good morning. Welcome to the show this morning. My name is Brian Amwai. This is Amka Kenya. Like always, this is where you get a head start. We tell you exactly what to expect during the day, how to go about it, and how to be safe. My name is Brian Amwai. How are you?
Indeed, Brian. Good morning. And my name is Remy Majala. And like Brian mentioned, on Amka Kenya, we give you our head start. We make sure that you know what is happening, in today's program when it comes to national matters, governance, and the like. And Tony.
Yes, they call me Tony Mwirigi, aka the celebrities host all the time, 24/7. Good to be here, guys. Good to be part of this amazing team. They call it A team. But in case you don't know, on this beautiful Thursday, just in case you don't know, and this affects Tony Mwirigi, this affects Brian Amoy and other people who are watching, and they are single. Now, sleeping next,
specifically,
because I have seen this, all right? Sleeping next to someone you love not only reduces depression, but it helps you live longer and makes you fall asleep faster. If you are a single person, na unalala late sana, just look for someone because it reduces depression in your life. Na pia you will be falling asleep faster. We shall be telling them more later about this story. But just to add something before we start the first story, the show, I want every one of us to give us an old joke because today it is National Tell an Old Joke Day. So Remy, Tanzania wewe, then Amoy and Mimi later on. Tell us an old joke. An old joke.
I actually don't have one at the top of my mind, but it reminds me of those old dad jokes.
Yeah.
You know the way they'd say, knock, knock, who's there? You know, sheep, who, something. So I'm not organic with jokes. I'm not the best.
All right.
Back and I'm a funny person. It will come.
The good thing we have 4 hours from now. We have 4 hours. So by the time we are getting to the end of the show, by 10, utakuwa na moja, si ndio?
Alafu nitawachekesha.
Kabisa. Tutangoja. Comedian Remy.
If it's an old joke,
Mjifanye hata basi.
All right, let's go.
All right, thank you so much for waking up with us. And of course, we have an action-packed show for you this morning. Amka Kenya is always here to give you a head start. Now, on Amka Politics, we sit down with Kakamega Deputy Governor, that is Ayub Savula, for a conversation on the state of affairs in the country and the way forward for the Luya Nation. All that on Politics this morning.
Right, and on Amka Vibe Check, we showcase to you brilliant minds on the chess front and how you can get to that guru level.
Mtazamaji, ndani ya Amka Trend Talks from 9 to 10 na kupatia stories za kipekee za entertainment. But imagine someone by the name Clarks Jarrod amekimbia from Kisumu to Nairobi for 4 days. Just running. Remember, from Kisumu to Nairobi, it is 300 kilometers. We shall be telling you a story of a Kenyan man, Clarks Jarrod, runs 300 kilometers from Kisumu to Nairobi in just 4 days. But also today on our show from 9 to 10, our guest is Carl Mbugua, a Kenyan content creator and also a skits comedian. But before that, tuanze show. Lakini from 9 to 10, usikose kuwatch. Manake hii story ni interesting. From Kisumu to Nairobi, 4 days running. Yeah.
All right, and I think we'll be getting the details of that later on, and it's very interesting. And I'm looking forward to that.
Just remember, he was alone, hakuoga, ni kukimbia tu from Kisumu to Nairobi 4 days.
Lakini Tony ataoga saa ngapi?
I'm just trying to add some details in that story. Hakuoga, lakini simu aliipata.
Maybe haja kubwa mandogo lakini sio
kuoga. Yeah. All right.
All right, I want us to take the first story and tell you exactly what you're waking up to on our Amka Alert this morning. And we start with this one. The Directorate of Criminal Investigation, or DCI, has issued a notice to compel Francis Jakim Mula to appear before the Milimani law courts. Now, also, he's expected to do what, Remy?
Right, he's expected to be there today. That is at 9 a.m. And this appearance is in connection with the ongoing University of Nairobi appointments row, an issue that has raised significant questions about governance and accountability. There's a whole lot on this story, Brian, especially when it comes to the processes of, the election of this particular, members to especially that position here. So today we will be expecting to hear more on this in particular and report the same to you in our subsequent bulletin on that matter.
Now, just Mzamaji, in relation to that story, we are just having an update. Director of Public Prosecution, Rayson Ngonga, has withdrawn a 32 million corruption case against former University of Nairobi Council Chairperson Amka Kenya and 3 senior officials, validating their long-held claim that the charges were a state-sponsored attempt to remove them from office. Bran and also Remy, we know that Anangwe, Amka and 3 others walifunguliwa kesi yao May this year. Was this year or last year?
Yeah, this
year. But now yesterday, just an update kwamba the DPP wameweza withdraw their case, 32 million case, among others. And also we have some reactions of our Kenya in relation to this story. So allow us to take a look at some reactions of our Kenya. Mzamaji, just an update this morning before we even take a look at this story. In relation to this story, remember ya kwamba Anangwe was the former chairperson of Nairobi, University of Nairobi Council, and then he had a case ya 32 million, lakini jana the DPP wameweza withdraw officially the case. And here we have some of the comments in regards to that update ya DPP. Alingo Akumu says the main aim was to kick them out of office, and now that DPP has achieved that, they have nothing more to do with them. Okay. That's a comment from Alingo Akumu from the DPP update on Kesi Anangwe. Victor Wanyonyi says Professor Amka and others should immediately sue the DPP for malicious prosecution and be compensated. That's a comment from Victor Wanyonyi. Let's now take a look from a comment from Valentin Pio. Says the office of the DPP must urgently reassess its role in public
discourse.
Failure to do so risks a total erosion of its
credibility. That's a comment from Valentine Opio. Then the last comment from Lavenda Mpure says, so we're back to the usual script. Big names walk free, no explanation given, and we move on like nothing happens. Imagine, those are just the comments from Kenyans in reaction to the story. Ambayo siku ya jana, we saw an update. That is a DPP, Director of Public Prosecution, Rayson Ngonga, ali withdraw case ya 32 million corruption case against former University of Nairobi Council Chairperson Amka Kenya and 3 other senior officials, meaning ya kwamba they are now free from that case. Lakini pia, it's an update that we shall be following up on our bulletins. Then later on, we shall be updating all the Kenyans.
Okay.
Yeah.
Of course, and what else do you need to know this particular morning? Let's take a look at what you need to know. Now, the Departmental Committee on Sports and Culture will be meeting with local organizing committee. They'll be getting a crucial update on Kenya's preparedness to co-host the CAF African Nations Championship, that is CHAN, alongside Uganda and Tanzania.
Right. Now, last week, Kenya's Ministry of Youth Affairs, Creative Economy and Sports officially handed over the Nyayo National Stadium to the tournament's local organizing committee. Now, the stadium is one of the primary venues for the Continental Showpiece and will host 6 key fixtures, that is including selected Group A matches and the decisive Group C clash between Algeria and Nigeria.
Okay. All right. Mzamaji, just to know ni kwamba CHAN itakuwa hapa Nairobi, and it is the first time Kenya hosting the mashindano haya ya michezo ya CHAN. Just to get you a clear update on this story, on the 3rd of August, Kenya itakuwa inachuana na DRC Congo. Katika Group A, Kenya itakuwa inamenyana na DRC Congo. Angola versus Kenya on the 7th of August. Kenya versus Morocco on the 10th of August, 3 p.m. And Zambia versus Kenya on the 17th of August this year. Mzamaji, this is a very big achievement to Kenya hosting CHAN. Lakini pia they are saying it a boost economy, lakini pia tourism here in Kenya. Remember, the last time Kenya wali attempt to host the CHAN, it was back in 19-something, mesahau mwaka, lakini pia 2018 walijaribu lakini kafeli. Okay. Now people are saying it is under a regime of Ruto that we can clap for him. I don't know if it's true, but let's see.
Right.
Let's host.
Let's go fast. Yeah.
Right. The next story, we take the issue to do the Senate committee.
Right. Now, the Senate Committee on Health conducts a direct visit to Kenyatta National Hospital, and this visit comes in the wake of recent tragic murders of 2 patients at the facility. Now,
the Health Committee, which is mandated to oversee and consider all matters related to health sector, will be looking into the circumstances surrounding these incidents. Now, their visit will likely involve addressing the hospital security measures, understanding the lapses that led to these unfortunate events, and discussing potential reforms to ensure patient safety moving forward.
Ni kweli jambo hili linazua tumojoto kwa wagonjwa wote ambao wapo katika hospitali mbalimbali, because this is a case happened yesterday. We tuliongelea story jana ya Chiromo, leo tumeongelea KNH, lakini pia I think Wizara ya Afya inafaa kuunda a special committee. Do you have a special committee maybe?
No, a special committee in terms of investigating this, maybe we can get later.
I think so. This tuchukue tu history kwetu Chiromo and KNH. We should have a special committee iangalie safety ya wagonjwa Kenya nzima, because case ime happen Chiromo the other day. We have KNH wanachunguza. I think tunafuata angalia safety ya wagonjwa Kenya nzima. So a special committee itasaidia sana, all right? Tuangalie kwa assess situations za safety katika hospitali mbalimbali 47 counties. Itakuwa rahisi sana. Because leo in Chiromo, kesho in KNH, other day maybe in Malindi, Mombasa and so and so.
And in most cases it just starts with one, and you know we start having to seeing a trend, and we don't want to get that to that particular state. So if we can stop it as early as now, why not?
Just like high school Migomo, Surprise High School, one school ikianza zingine zinafuata.
Like a chain reaction.
Kabisa.
Shule?
Sisi tukuchoma.
Situli attempt. From that, the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions will today conduct a training on decision to charge, that is DTC, guidelines and related topics for prosecutions and other law enforcement personnel.
Now, these training sessions aim to enhance the capacity of the prosecutors and make decisions charging individuals with offenses, ensuring fairness, consistency and adherence to ethical standards.
Okay. Now, away from that, we move on to what else you need to know this particular morning. Fear continues to grip the villages of Nzaro in Shakahola, Kilifi County, with residents concerned about controversial Shakahola priest Paul Mackenzie's cult revival. Now, it is alleged that about 40 people, including women and children, have been living in a secluded part of the Chakama forest, about 5 kilometers from the nearest village.
Now, according to various reports, the individuals have been running a cult-like sect that denies followers access to education and medical care, forcing them to fast to the point of death. All
right, there's a comment from Tilingi, a verified account on Twitter, says, it's funny that Shakahola is happening again. The ringleader this time is a rescued survivor of Mackenzie. He was from Siaya but managed to sneak back to Kilifi and continue with the cult. He poses a question, what is this NIS doing? That's a comment from one of the biggest accounts on Twitter by a guy called Arab Tilingi. I pose question kwa NIS. We thought kwamba kushika Mackenzie itakuwa end of those Shakahola massacre. But we have the case, round 2 of Shakahola.
Isn't there a task force towards this?
Those are reports that was actually released.
Yes.
In terms of how do we deal with issues to do with religious extremism. But you also remember during when that report was released, there was also in terms of a little bit to do with objection as far as regulation of religious the religious sector is actually concerned. And then it was shelved, and right now we are back to where exactly we started.
Pierre Edgar Bude says, well, the NIS is busy tracking social media critics who are simply calling for better governance. The Shakahola massacre is happening. The priorities of this government are both sickening and baffling. That's a comment from Edgar Bude in regards to Shakahola massacre.
Thank you. All right. I almost said thank you, Edgar. What else do you need to know this morning? Well, the Principal Secretary for the State Department for Youth Affairs and Creative Economy, Honorable Fikirini Katoi Kahindi, will be addressing the media. Now, the focus of today's briefing is the National Youth Council elections. Now, these elections are crucial as they aim to establish the leadership for the National Youth Council, which is a body that plays a vital role in representing and empowering young Kenyans.
Now we expect to hear updates on the election process, possibility details regarding the ongoing preparations, timelines, or any key announcements related to youth participation in this important democratic exercises.
Right. Yes, mtazamaji, apart from that, allow us this morning, we pose for you the question of the day before going to Magazeti this morning. Allow us, we pose for you the question of the day. Be part of this amazing conversation by using hashtag that is Amka Kenya, kila mahali at Brian Amoy, at K24, at Remy Majala, at Tony Mwirigi, kila mahali. Utuambie, what does the president need more time to deliver on his promises? Mtazamaji, tuambie, unafikiri kwamba Rais William Ruto, does he need more time to deliver on his promises? Siku jana, tuliona akiwauliza Wakenya maswali, mnasema must go, niende wapi, and tell me why should I go? Those were questions from jana Rais Ruto akiuliza Wakenya. You have been saying I should go. Tell me why I should go and where should I go? We're asking you this morning, does the President, William Ruto, need more time to deliver on his promises? Remember, it is less than 2 years atoke mamlakani to 2027 election, but do you think does he need more time to deliver on his promises, including nyumba, that is affordable housing, mambo mengi sana ambayo aliahidi wa Kenya katika uchaguzi wa mwaka 2027. Kuna masuala mengi sana ambayo aliahidi katika uchaguzi wa 2022 na mengine bado hajafanyika chini ya miaka miwili. Lakini kwa maoni yako mtazamaji, unafikiri kwamba Rais Ruto, does the president need more time to deliver on his promises? The question is up on Facebook, K24. Tuambie this morning, then later on we shall be sampling your feedback. But let me hear from my colleagues Remy and Amwai. Kwa maoni yenu, nyinyi ni wa Kenya. Apart from being journalists, nyinyi pia ni wa Kenya.
Yeah.
What do you think? Does the president need more time to deliver on promises?
You want my honest opinion? You want my honest opinion?
Yes, before tuende kwa guest nisikie kwa kwanza.
I think this, I'll say this, no matter how much time we offer, if there's no tangibility when it comes to what you want to do, then there's really nothing. Because we've been asking for time, or the government has been asking for time since 2022.
Yeah.
And I remember immediately after elections, there was that judgment when it comes to, oh, you promised this within 100 days. We really haven't seen that. And that's why we also had the issue to do with the Azimio-led demonstrations back in 2023. And ever since, the critics, some of the government supporters back then used to say, give the president time. And I remember Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi coming out to say, by the way, 100 days or 1 year is not enough for the government to be able to deliver on most of the things that it actually got to promise. Right now, we are clicking 3 years. And you see, we started already campaigning for the next election.
Yeah.
So how do you start campaigning for next election? if you haven't
Wadadisi
delivered
wa
what you
siasa
promised?
wanasema kwamba Rais William Ruto aliwa promise. What do you think, guys? Aliwa promise katika 2022? Remy?
Well, I mean, the manifesto is there, it's clear. So you cannot, he's a politician.
Yeah.
He campaigned, his trail was over, he had a manifesto. And before even we look at overpromising is, from what we see from the manifesto, how much has he been able to do? Even within the first, leave alone 1,000 days right now, there's no goodwill from the people. There's no trust. It's already broken. And most of the things that are being done to mitigate so that some of these issues can be solved, what people are expecting right now is, can you just use the systems in place and what you already gave us to implement?
All right.
You know, I don't think it's a matter of time. He just needs to implement things.
Okay. And joining us this morning to help us make sense of this conversation and what is happening as far as current affairs are concerned here in the country is Kuria Kariuki, who is a political analyst. Thank you so much for making time.
Thank you so
Good
much.
morning.
Thank you for
I
having
hope
me.
you didn't get traffic on your way here, or else you're going to blame the state. Right.
Yeah, that's the norm these days.
It is the norm, right?
It is the norm.
Okay, let's just throw to you the question that actually Tony did ask and what you're asking our viewers before we get into the newspapers and went viral. Do we need more time to be able to deliver in a minute?
My question is where is the time? We are 3 years inside his government into the 5 years. And what we are seeing right now in this country, people are already campaigning for 2027.
Yeah.
So we are asking, whatever they're doing is not right because time has gone. There's no time. So what more time? Deliver what you promise us, give us what you promise us, and I think that is enough.
Okay.
Yeah.
So focus on what you had promised, then deliver on that, then we can actually have a conversation on whether we get to do a re-election or not. That's just the feeling on the ground.
Yeah.
All right, time for Tunde Viral here on Amka Kenya. Let's take a look at what you're waking up to. The People Daily is our first newspaper that we want to bring you up to speed with. And top story on the People Daily is why Raila may not rescue Ruto. Why Raila may not rescue Ruto. It is a story on page 4, and pundits argue that emergence of Gen Z bloc has killed tribal politics, arithmetic, and warned that Tinga support will be insufficient for president's re-election. That is a story on page 4 of the People Daily. What else are we looking at on the People Daily, Remy?
Right, we're also looking at just right before that headline, rather under that headline, we have new graves, skulls, and secrets reawaken Shakahola horror, for that matter.
Okay.
And this is, a picture there showcasing police officers who are taking charge of the Shakahola 2 scene at Binzaro village in Kilifi County yesterday, where we understand a number of 50 people, were starved to death.
Okay.
And this story basically highlights or traces, a survivor who now, of course, was a whistleblower for that matter.
Okay.
Or rather, he was part of the, Mackenzie, led cult.
Okay.
Right.
Also,
All right. Malizia kwanza then nitamuuliza swali Mr. KK.
Payne asks TSC to recover 433 from tutors. That's also a story that has been headlined here on the People Daily, and Africa Wildlife Managers and Sang Hero for Conservation, a story on page 15. Tony?
Well, so on this story about tumeangazia hapa, why Raila will not save Ruto in 2027 polls, just to ask our guest, that is Mr. KK Kuria Kariuki. Kuna point ambayo nimeisoma katika page 4 of this story about political analyst, that is Herman Manyora, says the traditional political endorsement won't work in 2027 from this story ambayo tumeangazia, because it's a reason as why Raila will not save Ruto in 2027 politics. I want to get to your point. Herman Manyora says traditional political endorsement may lose power in 2027 and it won't work unlike other years. Tell us, what do you think about the whole statement?
We are in a new generation, new information-led kind of ground. So the political ground has shifted because it is not the politicians now who decide who is going to be president.
Yeah.
You remember whatever is happening now, even the opposition. You see the opposition trying to take advantage of the Gen Z movement. But this is not led by politicians. So this is where they should take lessons and know that it is not them who are telling us or telling the people of Kenya what they're going to do, but rather it is now the Kenyan people who have taken up the fight to the government by themselves. So it's not about politicians. So even Raila himself, you will see right now, he's struggling in his own home ground. He's struggling in talking to people. His own party has divisions inside. We saw Sifuna the other day talking about the broad-based government, and he's clearly against it. So inside even the ODM there is wrangles. So right now what they should be doing actually, it's just putting their ears on the ground and learning what people are doing. And we think Raila, Ruto has done, or both of them, right now they're in a kind of, how do I call it? Because you see now, both of them have trouble. Both of them can stand somewhere and talk to people because people see through them. So it's not who's telling the truth, but people see the lies across the divide.
Yesterday. All right, go ahead, Brian.
Let me ask you something. Raila Odinga, did he lose relevance by associating with President William Ruto? Or people are just now, like you said, awake to the fact that this is exactly who he really was? Did the negativity by, associating with the government rub on him that now people kind of associate him with the head of state and the failures, of this particular regime? Or is that just the kind of person that he was and people were not seeing that?
I will believe sometimes we say a wolf inside a sheep's clothing, but Raila has been that all the years.
Okay.
He's been one person that we understand that every time there's trouble, he will always take the other side.
Okay. I'd like you to hold on that particular point. Right now, let's take a break here on Amka Kenya. Of course, when we come back, we continue the conversation this particular morning and try to make sense of what you're waking up to as we give you a head start to start your day.